Hope that you are well, and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on multiple meaning words. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 3, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of multiple meaning words. And I just want to apologize for being late. I was just having trouble. I was just having trouble logging in. So I'm really sorry that I'm only that I'm late. All right. So we are doing a continuation of multiple meaning words. Yesterday we did not yesterday, the day before, we did multiple meaning words with pictures as well as which definition matches the sentence. So today we're just going to go over a brief of what multiple meaning words are and then also which sentences matches the definition. So that is what we are going to be doing today under our chapter of multiple meaning words. So we did multiple meaning words with pictures, or basically just multiple meaning words. And we said multiple meaning words are words with more than one meaning, right? So it's like the words that is spelled the same way, but it has got different meanings to it. So we said that our chapter is multiple meaning words. We are doing a continuation of our previous lesson, right? Then we have English Language Arts, grade 3. All right. So we said multiple meaning words, right? Words with, it's like words with the same spelling, but the meanings are different. So it's like words with the same spelling, but the meanings are different. It has different meanings, right? Sometimes the spelling can be the same, the sound can be the same, or the sound of it can be different, right? All right. So we're going to find out about the few words that are multiple meaning words. And like I say, Multiple meaning words, it can be words with the same letters, or let's say the words with the same spelling, but the meaning of the words are different. Or let's say same spelling, but it has multiple meanings, right? So that is basically multiple meaning words. It is words with the same spelling, but it has multiple meanings, right? Then, when it comes to multiple meaning, right? Multiple meaning words can also have a different sound. So the sound can either be the same or the sound can be different, right? So I think we should say that the sound can either be the same or some words they sound different, right? So they sound different. And we're going to look at a few of our multiple meaning words, right? Words that have the same spelling but has got different meanings to it, or some of the sounds that is either the same or the sounds that are different, right? Yes. So, like the word well and well, right? It's these two words, well and well, it means that the first word can mean that, oh no, like I'm well, thank you. I am not ill. I'm doing great. That is the first word, well. I'm doing well, basically talking about how you feel. And then the second one is it's well, right, which is basically like a hole in the ground. So that is the two words, well and well. And those are words with the same spelling, but it has multiple meanings to it, meaning that it's well, but well has got different meanings, right? All right. And then if you look at another word, think of letter, right? Think of letter, letter, right? Letter is also a word that has got different meanings. And the word, the letter, right? You can get either letter as in A, B, C, those letters of the alphabet, right? Or another letter is basically, let's say, um, a letter that is being sent that you are either sending or receiving within the mail, right? So that is letter. It's more than one, it's one word, right? But it's got different meanings. So once again, letter is like the letters of the alphabet, or another letter is basically a note that you can either send or receive. That is also letter. Another word can be fall, right? Fall can also be another word because fall can either mean autumn, like we would say autumn in our country. So in our country we would say autumn, right? So we don't say fall, we just say autumn. And then fall is like if you maybe slip and you hurt yourself, right? It's like you slip and you hurt yourself. That is also fall. And then we also have the word ring and ring, right? So here we have ring, right? And this one ring can be a ring with a diamond on, right? Like a ring where you're about to get married. Or ring can be where we ring a bell, right? So we ring a bell, that is one word, one multiple meaning or meaning, and the other ring is like a ring that you give to someone either as a promise ring or as an engagement ring or as a wedding ring. And then we have brush. Brush is also a word that has multiple meanings, like brush for your teeth, like when you brush your teeth, so that is brush. And then we have a hair brush, right? So when you brush your hair. All right. So that we call multiple meaning words. And it's words with the same spelling, but it has multiple meanings. And when it comes to multiple meanings, right, the sound can either be the same or or some of the words that can sound different. All right, so now we're going on to aplusstudents.ca, and we're going to which sentence matches the definition. All right. So once again, right, we said multiple meaning. When it comes to multiple meaning words, another word for multiple meaning words, right, we can call homographs. Remember in one of our other lessons, we did homophones, right? And we said homophones are words that sound the same, right? But we see the spelling and the meaning is different, right? So that is homophones. But now when it comes to homographs, right? Homographs are words with more than one meaning, right? It's words with one more than one meaning. So, yes, the word is the same, the word is spelled the same way, but they have different meanings, right? And sometimes the different meanings they even have different sound. It's not always, but they do at times. All right. So what we said that some of the words have more than one meaning, and sometimes it's not just two meanings that it has, right? Because if you check the dictionary, if you look up a word in the dictionary, right, you'll see in the dictionary they give you different meanings of a specific word. And that is why we say that it has multiple meanings, because it doesn't necessarily just mean one word means the one thing, the other word means another thing, right? It gives us an idea that yes, we have one word, right? But it means different things, right? And that is why we call multiple meaning words, or another word for multiple meaning words is homographs. So where some of the words have more than one meaning, right? And we said sometimes also the different meanings even sound different. And before we go to the one who spells different, the one who's the words that are that basically they're spelled the same way, they sound the same way, right? But the meanings are different is light, right? I light the light hurts my eyes. So that can be the light when you switch on the light, right? And then also feathers are very light. That is the weight of it, right? Something that is very light or heavy. So the feathers are light, which means that there we have both words light, or it's basically one word light, but the meanings are different. The one meaning is talking about the light hurting our eyes, and the second one talks about the feather of let's say maybe birds that is very light. And then we have words with different meanings, but they even sound differently. So different meaning that sound different. So we have words like bow, and we have words like bow, right? Bow is, let's say, usually what actors do. It's where you lean over and you take a bow, usually when the acts or the play or whatever you do are done, right? Then you come and you bow to the audience. It's like a form of a greeting. And then also we have bow, and we can say the girl tied a bow in her hair, right? And it's like a bow is like a let's say like a ribbon type of thing, right? That you tie either around your head, around your hair, and that is bow. And once again, we say words with more than one meaning we call multiple meaning, or we call them homographs. All right, so now let's go to, we're going to do an activity, and then after the activity, we're going to the test. Yes, so light is either the light from the sky, or it can be like a sun, like a sunlight from the light from the sky, or it can be like light where you can switch on the light, right? Or another light is if we're talking about the feathers, right? Something being very light in weight that you pick up, and it's something that is not heavy. That is also a light. All right. So can you see how we have different multiple meaning words? Because it's like we say, right? We have the word, one word light, and light can mean sunlight, which is light from outside, sunlight, light from the sun. Then we have the lights that we switch on in the house, right? To light up the house when it's a bit dark. That is also the second one, light. And then the third light is to do with weight, how heavy or not so heavy something is, like a feather. A feather is not heavy at all, right? It is very light. All right. So now we are going to say which sentence matches the definition. So we need to say which sentence uses the meaning of the word bark. Bark. It says bark is a noun and it's the outside part of a tree. So bark is a noun and it's the outside part of a tree. And it says most trees have smoother bark than oak trees do, which means that we are going with that one. That says most trees have smoother bark than oak trees. So that is the bark from the tree. All right, so there we have our one. Most trees have smoother bark than oak trees do. And there she has bark, and the meaning of bark is the outside part of a tree. That is bark. So as you can see once again, right, it is multiple meaning words to basically these specific words. And since bark has more than one meaning, and we've got a definition, right, that means bark, which is the outside part of a tree. And if we look at another word, bark, right, and then we also have bark, right? It's where the dogs were barking. So the dogs bark at the cats, right? So that is bark. And bark is like a noise that the dogs make, right? So here we have the word bark, and this bark has got two meanings. All right. All right. So now we're going to the next one. Trunk. Trunk. It says an elephant's nose. The trunk of an elephant. All right. So we can even think of different words, but now we have already made mention of words like light, right, which are words that are spelled the same way but they have different meanings. And then we made mention of words like bow, bow or bow, right? All right, now let's go to our test where we are going to say which sentence matches the definition. All right, so it says row, right? Row is a line of people or things. Row is a line of people and things, right? That is row. And it says Abby couldn't take her eyes off the row of cookies in the case. All right, so we have Abby couldn't take her eyes off the row of cookies in the case. Or I can row the canoe across the pond. And our definition is line of people or things. So we need to look at the word row, which is a line of people or things. And the two words, the two sentences is Abby couldn't take her eyes off the row of cookies in the case, Or do we have to choose I can row the canoe across the pond? So we have the word row, and then row is, for example, where you can canoe across the pond, right? Or use of a little boat or something. Now we are rowing. So if we look at the word row, right? It says the definition is says it's a line of people or things, right? Because now they're rowing. So we now need to say which sentence uses the meaning of row. All right, and then the first one says Abby couldn't take her eyes off the row of chocolates in the glass. Or the second option, I can row the canoe across the pond. Which one is the correct one? All right. So the if we were to match the response the with the definition, then we will say we'll go with the second one, right? Because it's a rowing a boat. Oh, it's a row of cookies. Mm, okay. So it's actually the row of cookies, right? Now we have wind, right? Wind is a noun and it is air that is moving, right? That is wind. It's a noun and it is air that is moving, right? It says the firefighters were afraid that the high wind could spread the fire. All right, so we say that the wind is a noun that is moving, right? So we're not going to say which sentence uses the word wind. All right, so the wind is a noun and it is a that is moving, right? And if we must say which sentence matches wind, then the first one says the firefighters were afraid that high wind would spread the fire. So we said that we have wind, which is the air that is moving. So wind is air that is moving. So air that is moving can either be very lightly, so you don't even sometimes feel it, or it can be a lot, right? It can be very bad. So the firefighters were afraid that the high wind would spread the fire, or I will wind Ginger's leash around a post so she doesn't run away. And we need to use the words with the same meaning, right? So we said that wind is a noun, it is air that is moving, or we can say the firefighters were afraid that the high wind would spread over the fire. And then we have another one, which is top, and top is a noun. All right. Then we have another one that says we need to say which one uses the meaning of top, right? And then we have the top. Top is a noun, which is a child's toy that spins, right? And that is a top. It has a nib at the bottom, and then you need to have a rope also. And then once you throw it or you play with it, and you throw it on the floor, and then it spins, and that is a top, right? The top that spins. So now we're going to use the sentence, right? Or say which sentence uses the meaning of the word top. Is it the first option, which is I can't believe we made it to the top of the mountain? Or David spun the colorful top across the table, the toy. So I can't believe we made it to the top of the mountain. Or David spun the colorful top across the table. And if we were to choose the correct one, right, that also means it's to do with the child's toy. And then we can say David spun the colorful top across the table. All right. So remember the span around the table. We spoke about the toy, and the second option made mention of the toy again. Well, yeah, we have our word well, right? Like you mentioned. Well, which is a noun, it's a deep hole in the ground. And then we also made mention of another well, right? Where we said the farmer used a bucket and drew water from the deep well. A well is a hole in the ground, and people need to lower buckets into the ground, right? And then they need to get water from there. And that is a well, that's a hole in the ground. But then it also says the story that David wrote for the contest was well written. So if we want to match the word with, or let's say with the correct sentence, the sentence that matches the definition, then we would go with option one, which is a farmer used a bucket and drew water from the deep well. All right. All right. So we said that we have change. Change is a verb to become or make different. And it says Becky will change her clothes when she gets home from school. Or when I bought the sandwich, I got $2 back in change. So it says change is to become or make different. All right. So we spoke about the meaning of change. Change is to become and make it different. So we will say option one. Well, the second one is to do with money. That change that you get when you go to the shop. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on multiple meaning words. We said multiple meaning words are words with the same words, but it means different things, right? It has got different multiple meanings to it. Thank you very much, Beatriz, and I really hope you're going to have a good day further. All right, so you should have a good evening or day further. Let's have a good weekend further. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. I'm sorry for going over time. Ne?